A normal kid. I'm just an average kid. Or so everyone thinks. No one knows what I really am, or what I can do. But they all do now. It was 2 years ago, on my birthday. I was turning 13, and I was told to get my sister for opening presents. So, I went to her room and saw a lump under the covers and guessed she was sleeping. So, I pulled the covers off to reveal a corpse of my sister. Someone walked by and saw me just staring at her bed. They walked over to see what was wrong. They saw her corpse and puked everywhere while crying. Later that week was her funeral. Before the service, I overheard some of the adults talking about me. I just stood over her, unaffected, over my sister's mutilated corpse, just staring at her, where her eyes should have been, but were just bloody holes. They think I did it at night, or was just in shock. A few weeks later, one of them died, had their head blown clean off in front of his friends. And you know who was right behind him? Covered in blood, holding a gun? Who else but me, of course. That very day, I was sent to an asylum that very day. So now, here I am, all tied up in a straitjacket. The lights shut off, and I laugh as I hear the staff panic and the patients howl. One of the patients yell and screams, "They're in the dark!" And then screams as the sound of flesh being torn along with the sound of bones crunching. Soon after, the fire alarm starts, along with the smell of smoke. My door opens, and I walk out. Minutes later, I arrive at my house. Oops. They're watching the news. There, watching the news, is my uncle and my cousins. "I see you've heard the news," I say. They jump up and turn around. My uncle asks, "How did you escape the fire?" "Oh, uncle, that's a long story for later," I say. One of my cousins runs for the kitchen, but freezes in his tracks. I smile and point to him. Within seconds, his skin is being torn off by some invisible force. His brother cries as he watches his brother's ribcage pulled out by the same invisible force. Thud! He falls to the floor. There is a pool of blood on the floor, pooling around him on the floor now. I turn to my other cousin and ask, "Do you want to see what it's like in space, cuz?" No, he says. I laugh and say, "Too bad!" Suddenly, his eyes blow out his head. He screams in pain. I just laughed. "I wonder what you really are in the inside," I say. His whole body then explodes. "Well, that was uneventful, huh, uncle?" I say. He stands there in shock and asks, "What are you?" I smile and say, "I was a normal kid, or so you thought. I am death. I am a sign of the end. And the end starts here." His head explodes. The sky turns red. "It starts here."